Hey everyone, welcome to the Leathercraft Community Podcast Show. My name is Steve Van Plu, and on today's episode, I'm sitting with one of the most incredible and kindest ladies in the industry. She knows an insane amount of stuff on leather and leathercraft, and she's been doing it for quite some time. I am so happy that I get to introduce her to you guys and share her story. So without further ado, I want to welcome Julie Baugher to the Leathercraft Community Podcast Show. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
So, Julie, where are we currently located? Because we are very, very far north.
I live in Ellensburg, Washington, central Washington, on the east side of the Cascade Mountain Range.
Awesome. And I want to dive right into these questions. And I want to know, how did you get started in leathercraft and how long have you been doing it?
My dad built a little leather shop in our tack room when I was a kid, and we laced things together, sewed things together with hides that he had tanned from animals he'd got the hides from. And I just loved going out there and making things. Went to WSU to get an animal science degree, and my advisor pulled me in his office one day and said, "Hey, you have A+ in all your lab classes and D's in your lecture classes. What's up?" And I said, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's hard for me to learn from a lecture, from somebody speaking. And he said, "I'm thinking you're a visual learner. What are your hobbies?" And I told him I did leather work. I built chaps for a lot of the guys in school. And he said, "There's a saddle making school in Spokane, Spokane Falls Community College that Jesse Smith taught." He said, "Why don't you go check it out?" Went and checked it out, and that's my history. That's where my leather career began.
And in that school, what did they specifically teach you? Was it just saddle making, or was it a little bit of everything of leathercraft?
Absolutely. He began, I think, a leather knife sheath was our first project. And we built 7 saddles, 1 rebuild, chaps, breast collars, head stalls. I built a bareback rig at one point. Basically whatever we wanted to do, really.
Gotcha. And do you happen to have any of those projects still, or are they out in the world somewhere?
I have one. I have a breast collar I built. Sadly, I had to sell the first saddles I built for the money to continue to go to school. And I did sell the first pair of chaps I built too, which I'm kicking myself. I tell younger makers, keep that first project because it's going to break your heart that you didn't.
I find it very interesting that a lot of people want their first one back, or they may know where it's located. And that's why I ask. And
yeah.
you clearly want or wish you had that one piece back.
I do. Actually, the first 2 saddles I built, I know who owns them, but he won't sell them back to me. So maybe someday, who knows?
So you are known in the industry for making chaps, and that is your bread and butter, and that's what you've cultivated your career, I feel like, on. And that a lot of people will shoot you messages and say, "Hey, can you give me some advice on these chaps or this and that?" Can you talk about the little bit of the evolution of chaps?
When my first saddle making job was in Laramie, Wyoming at the boardwalk. And I was a saddle maker there, and chaps. Back then, chaps were a tool. They were used every day in daily life from ranchers, cowboys. So I built a couple pair a day, repaired a lot of them, and they've kind of evolved into an accessory also nowadays, where you'll have customers that'll buy 2 or 3 pair from you, women who, use them in the show pen and things like that. But they're more of an accessory, I think, nowadays. There's a lot of ranchers and cowboys that still use them and use them hard, and those are my favorites to build, but they really have become a fashion statement, I guess, amongst the cowboy crowd.
As a matter of fact, the Prada fashion show just a handful of weeks ago, they had a model walk down the runway with some chaps on.
It was Louis Vuitton.
Oh, was it Louis? Okay, excuse me.
Yes, it was.
I thought it was Prada. Why did I think it was Prada? It was one of those higher end companies that they had it. So you clearly know exactly what I'm talking about then.
I loved it. I shared it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great nod to the Western world.
Awesome.
Some people didn't like it, but I thought it was pretty neat that they did that.
Now, can you talk about the different styles of chaps that are available?
Shops are, in my opinion, are very territorial. They're different down south than they are up north. Down south, they're in the mesquite, a lot more brush. Up here in the Northwest, it's rainier. So styles change where you are. Shotgun chaps with zippers are used all over. Bells down south, made out of a heavier, more stiff leather. Up here in the Northwest, like I just said, it's rainy. You have to have something that's going to shed and wick water. They're not really a fashion piece, but it's you need the correct leg wear for the job they're doing. So,
And what are some proper like maintenance tips for someone who has a pair of chaps? Do you just use some saddle soap, or do you wet a rag and kind of wipe them down? How would one care for their chaps?
Depends on the leather. A rough out, you don't want to get wet, obviously, because it'll soak it up like a sponge. Smooth grain leather, a sponge, just a damp sponge. If you've worn off the top grain, you can use a product called Shep Wax from Ray Hole Saddle Company. You can use a leather conditioner. You need to be aware that it's not going to rub off on your saddle. You have to be aware of things like that. But yeah, you can condition them up. You need to take care of them for them to last.
Hey, y'all, I want to talk to you about the very first sponsor for the Leathercraft Community Podcast Show, and it is Leather Machine Company. If you are looking to upgrade your workshop or to speed up the process on making items, then look no further than Leather Machine Co. They have various sewing machines of multi-purpose needs, along with leather cutting and splitting machines. Check out their website or give them a call for more information. Now, let's go back to the show. Now, I met you at Sheridan, the trade show, and I stopped by your booth and I saw your tiny little model of chaps, and I thought they were the cutest thing. I thought they were for like babies, honestly, but it was your demonstration, your micro model, just like how saddles, they have those 1/4 scales.
Yep.
So I the minute I saw that, I was like, gosh, that is the cutest little thing. And I wanted to ask, what do you do at the trade shows? Do you teach? Do you have a booth? Are you a vendor? What can someone expect when they stop by at a trade show?
I do teach at the leather shows ahead of the trade show, the days that they have set for teaching. I teach shotgun chaps pattern drafting. This year at Sheridan, I'm teaching a new class, and it's basically questions people have asked me, like, how do you put a pocket in, double fringe, how do you do logos, just all the little bits and pieces that are aside from just the full body of the chaps. And my vendor booth, I sell patterns, kids patterns, adult patterns. This year, I'm coming out with some new things. I'm going to be selling yokes and side plates, clicked out from Herman Oak leather. I'm going to have some shop buckles, zippers, just things that go along with leggings and chaps that people have a hard time finding sometimes.
Awesome. Now, you are quite a busy lady on social media. You are everywhere. I see that there's just a lot going on. Your days are quite filled. I also saw that you have made some chaps for the Miss Rodeo. Can you tell me about what that all entails, and how do you get inspiration to create such a high-profile pair of chaps?
First, the best answer to that question is you can't get in this business anywhere without other people. I would not be where I am today without people giving me a leg up or a hand, honestly. That kind of found me. I didn't seek it out. And I build chaps for a lot of the rodeo queens, and it also, I get to mentor young ladies too. It's kind of like when you go to the hair salon and you vent to the lady doing your hair. I get a lot of that too, helping girls out with things and situations. So that's part of what I love about my job.
So for the design of those chaps, how do you come up with the design or the inspiration? Do you work with the Miss Rodeo herself, or do you kind of just like pitch an idea and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking? And how does that all come about?
It depends on the young lady. There's young ladies who come with a full drawing for you. This is what I want. There's young ladies who say, I love what you do. These are the colors. Do your thing. Make what you want. I love to have a young lady come in my shop because it's easier for me to create her personality into that. Meeting somebody, creating a relationship, getting to know them. The young ladies that I have to help on the phone. It's a little more difficult to kind of get their feeling, but a lot of them at that level kind of know what they want at that point anyways. But I love to help them with it.
You mentioned your shop. So let's talk about your workshop. You have the Julie Baugher Leather School. This is a magnificent facility, and I would love for you to tell the viewers all about this workshop and what do you do here and what do you host?
I offer chaps classes, 3-day classes, week-long classes. You can call me and we can book a private class. I have some people come in for a week or 2 weeks at a time. I teach beginners. I teach people who are already in the industry that want to kind of hone their skills or learn new skills. Some of my 3-day chaps classes are just for fun. I'll have a family book a class. I do beginning leather work, and I also have a weekly class called Leather Club that kind of came as a joke, really. But I have a group of about 12 to 14 ladies that come in once a week, and I offer it 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and it's a lot of fellowship and talking, and one lady loves to bring champagne sometimes, and we just do leather work.
That's amazing. Now, besides chaps, what do you personally like to make or create?
Oh boy, I love to make handbags. Though I'm not a big handbag person, I love to make them. I love to make really fancy stuff, though my stuff is generally simple and black. I love to do fancy handbags, new designs. Probably that's probably it. Yeah.
Incredible. Now, back to chaps. Let's talk about the leather used in chaps. Are there any particular ones that you not want to use for chaps, or are there some that you're like, hey, this works the best?
The first and foremost thing I teach or how I build a pair is I want to know what they're going to be used for. And that answers your question. Okay. Are they going to be used trail riding? Are they going to be used in the roping pen, branding pen? But I don't know if there's any leather that's not good for building them. Obviously, you wouldn't want to build anything out of too lightweight of leather. But if I had a customer walk in the door and that's what they chose, that's what I would build because I'm a custom maker. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
And any tips do you have for somebody who is wanting to make a pair of chaps or very entry level that have made 1 or 2 pairs? Do you have any sort of tips that you can kind of nudge them along to help enhance their skill set?
Seek out a good instructor. Honestly, that's how you can get good faster, or how you can tackle all those questions. When you buy my chap patterns, you get into my private Facebook page, and it's a forum with 400 or 500 people that will offer you help. There's videos in there, pictures, but find instruction. Definitely. The leather shows are fantastic for that. Also, you can find great instruction on Be a Maker School's website. I have 2 courses on there, one shotgun chaps course and a square leg chincaderos course. It's called beamakerschool.com. It's a forum that Nevada Watt created for online learning for people who can't do in-person learning.
Hey everyone, our second sponsor for the Leathercraft Community Podcast Show is none other than the Leather Crafters Journal. Carrying on a tradition of 68 years of publishing the magazine for leather workers and artists worldwide, they also host 3 trade shows in the United States and 1 in Europe. Give them a call or visit their website and use the promo code COMMUNITY, and you will receive an additional free magazine added to your subscription at no charge. The Leather Crafters Journal truly sets the standard with staying up to date on all things leathercraft. If it's about leather, it's in the journal. Now, back to our show. What are some of your favorite tools to work with when you do any sort of your leather crafting projects?
The biggest thing I would miss would be my 4x8 bench.
Yeah.
And honestly, when I build a pair, I'll come out here in my classroom and use 2 or 3 benches at a time.
You have 3 benches here. 4, excuse me.
5, really?
You're right, there is 5.
There's
There's
5.
5. Man, this facility, if the audience could be here and just sit in a corner and watch and look at everything, I think they would be pretty impressed. You have a dream little studio.
Thank you.
It is, you guys, it's a wonderful place to be, to actually to cultivate the learning and to pick your brain. I think this is I think you've hit a grand slam with this.
Thank you. I, honest to God, could not do this without Leather Machine Company. They have been extraordinary to me with my machines, getting me set up for my classroom. I mean, I can't thank them enough. And that's from my heart. David and Vince have been fantastic to me.
Based on your experience with chaps and your saddle making class and your history with all that leather work, is there a project that you kind of always have in the back of your mind that you're like, ooh, I wish I could redo that again. I really messed that one up. And I just want to just do it better one more time.
Absolutely. The very first pair of Rodeo Queen chaps I built, I would love to be able to do those over again.
Do they exist still out there, or can you ask for them back, or is that even an option?
I wouldn't want to change the course of my experience nor how far I've come. Absolutely not. That's part of history. You couldn't see the letters in an arena.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
I didn't make them bright enough.
Okay. Do you ever take a photo and look at what you started and then where you're at now and look at it and be like, gosh, it's so awesome as a personal artist to say that I've evolved from point A to point B? Absolutely.
And all that is hours in your shop. This didn't come easily to me. I had to work at it, but it's just repetition, just keep practicing and practicing.
Yep. Well, Julie, I want to wrap this up a little bit, and I want to have the people get some information from you. And how can they contact you if they wanted to call you to maybe set up a private class, or how can they see your class schedules? What way can they best contact you?
My website, which is jbldleatherschool.com. My email's on there, my phone number's on there, my address. Get a hold of me through social media. Sometimes I miss things like that because social media is a little tricky for someone my age. I'm classic now. Anyways, but that's the best way. Go to my website.
Awesome. Well, Julie, thank you so much for sharing your time, sharing a little bit about your history and what you offer here at your leather design school. This is an incredible facility. I just really wish that people can see what you offer here and what you're able to teach, and that you bring those outside people in. It is, you guys have to come and visit Julie. You have to. This is, I check marked this now. I'm really happy. And I'm going to sign up for one of your classes.
Perfect.
Probably 2025.
Perfect. I'd love to have you. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to come and make two. I think I'm going to want to make 2 pair of chaps.
Perfect.
That's my goal. So
let's do it.
All right, Julie, thank you so much for your time. All right, you guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.